In this video, I'm going to show you how to turn on the data analysis feature in Excel, and then how we can use that to do a descriptive statistics calculation. So Excel has a ton of features and capabilities, and it actually has a lot of them turned off, because if all of Excel's features were turned on all the time, there would be so much going on, it would require so much RAM, your computer would really slow down. So Excel has the basic stuff turned on, but some of the more advanced features, you have to go and specifically say, I want to do this, so it's not clogging up your computer. So the feature that we're going to look at today is called data analysis, and I'm going to be demoing this on Excel 2010. If you've got a different version of Excel, it may look a little bit different, but it's still pretty much the same idea. And then I'm also using the same Chapter 2 data that we've been using in most of our Chapter 2 videos. So to turn on data analysis, you go to File, then Options, and then go down on the left side to Add-ins. And then in the bottom center of your screen, you want to click on Go. And then what you want to do is check the top two boxes and only the top two boxes. If you start checking other stuff, it doesn't turn on the exact feature that we need. And you know that you've done it correctly if you go to the Data tab and there's a Data Analysis button all the way on the right-hand side. So once we turn on data analysis, we're going to go into it to do a special feature called Descriptive Statistics. So I'm going to go choose the Descriptive Statistics. And what Descriptive Statistics does is it lets you calculate a whole bunch of values at once without having to do a bunch of them individually and take up a lot of time. So I'm choosing Descriptive Statistics. For input range, I'm going to highlight all of my data. So input range, highlight all of your data. Then click on the bubble beside output range, and then in that white box for output range, click on any blank cell. And this tells Excel where to put all the calculations it's about to do. And then check the box for summary statistics. So again, in descriptive statistics, your input range is all of your data, your output range is the blank cell that you want the calculations to go into, and then check summary statistics. Let me wind the column a little bit. So what you'll see is we have a whole bunch of stuff all at once. We have the mean, that's the same $210.13 average for the GPSs that we saw the other day in the video. Standard error, we don't really talk about, so I'm going to just darken it just so you know that we don't really care about standard error in this class. The median is the middle number. We calculated that as 200 before. The mode, it says is 200, and you do need to be careful because it only ever finds one mode. So it's worth visually scanning the data to see if there's a second, and if there is, you would just manually type it in. In this case, there's not one, but just do be aware that it only ever shows one mode. So for standard deviation, it always calculates the sample standard deviation, because most of the time you're working with sample data in the real world. It's very rare to have an entire population's worth of data. So Excel figures you're probably working with a sample, so it's going to calculate the sample standard deviation. If you need the population standard deviation, then you would need to go back and use that stdev.p function and highlight your data to find the standard deviation of the population. But descriptive statistics does the sample standard deviation. And then we have our sample variance. See, kurtosis and skewness we don't work with in this class. Range, we've seen that's max minus min. It tells you the minimum data point, the maximum data point, the sum. So if you added up all your data, that's what it would be. And then the count, that we have 30 of them. So this is nice because it gets you a whole bunch of things at once without having to go into Function Wizard 5 or 6 times to calculate them individually.